Steps. What steps? Sorry. I think there's somebody in the room here. Do you know what I keep getting? I keep getting a... Where are you? I'm here, I'm here, I'm here! Yeah. Let's run, go. Stuff is being thrown at us. Is there anybody here?
If you're here, and clearly you are, affect Paul again. Crying out loud. Get yourself some water and come back in. Yeah? Okay. Come on, no. Stu. Sound's getting closer to me. Are you that concerned? Yes. Do you want to go down? Yeah. Chris is getting very, very concerned. I'm going to send him down to you. Give us the final part of this message. 666. Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. An unusual night for me. I've never before taken part in any kind of paranormal experiment, any seance session, any Ouija board session, and it was intense, and I feel still slightly odd about the whole experience, and I'm also worried about Yvette and the team because they were here in the building and they've left the seance, the Ouija board session, open. They were asking for anybody who feels anything in the Winter Gardens in Morecambe tonight to make that known. I should say that the half a dozen people who were taken ill, some were physically sick during the Ouija board session, have now recovered. Most of them are now back in the audience. We thank them for bearing with us. Obviously we're delighted they are feeling better now, but it was a very intense session indeed. Now, that's what's happened here. The team are now heading for the vigil location tonight, a scene of great emotional and in fact criminal stress over the years. Here is just a bit of what might be in store for them.
With a history intricately woven into Lancaster's dark judicial past, it is little wonder that within this 16th century building allegedly reside a multitude of restless phantoms. The judge's lodgings was initially the Lancaster residence of notorious witch hunter Thomas Covell, a man responsible for countless bloody executions, including the infamous Pendle Witches. Covell went on to die within these four walls, and his domineering, aggressive presence has been felt on the first floor. A subsequent resident, John Day, met an even more gruesome fate, hanging himself here at the lodgings in 1779. The cold-hearted Judge Elverton and the infamous Judge Jeffreys both spent considerable time here, dispatching those they deemed to be guilty. Their actions led to centuries of bloodletting, and the unmistakable stench of death still clings to these walls. An unnerving spectre in the cellar, a ghostly child at the window, and bizarre groans echoing after dark. Perhaps these alleged phenomena can throw light on the building's shocking past and guide us towards uncovering its face of evil.
Murder and suicide and decades of dark history await us at tonight's location for the vigil. But one man, one team member, has been there already. He is a medium, a clairvoyant, a psychic, and a psychic artist. We're in quest of 5 faces of evil, or the 5th face tonight. Brian Shepherd has been to tonight's vigil location. Here is what he sensed.
I sense things already starting to make themselves apparent to me. Yes, this is very welcoming, but there's another side to this building, and it's chill inside. And that feeling is growing all the time. I strongly feel that there was the death of a man, or a man took his own life here. I think something awful induced him to effect that end. He hanged himself in this building, somewhere in this building. There's a strong sense of that. You know, I do get a feeling that there certainly was another fatality here. There was another man. I think he was very much involved in the trial, the accusation and a condemnation of innocent women. This face, this distillation, if you like, in terms of a visualization of a face, is very much here the accuser in this matter.
Now that is a disturbing image. The man who gave us that sketch is here. That's Brian Shepherd and our paranormal investigator, Phil Wyman. Good evening to you both. Brian,
good evening.
You sensed something immediately you went inside tonight's location. You've had time to think about it. Can you tell us anything at all, any names yet? Have you got any sense of who might be the person? Because, to be honest, we're spoiled for choice tonight.
No, absolutely, and we've all, you know, been watching the proceedings, and we've all heard some names mentioned just a little earlier on. As I approached that house, you know, and it's a very elegant-looking house, I have to say that. But as soon as you get inside, you know, you have this distinct feeling there's another side to it, you know, and yes. Immediately I had a name filter through this Thomas, this Koval. And as you walk around the house and later on up the stairs, there's a feeling of almost dread about the place, quite honestly. And something else obviously filtered through this overriding feeling that there was a man who had done away with himself, you know, he was hanging. And the more you walked up the stairs into the upper rooms, you know, that sense increased, if you like, and that's how I was able later on to achieve some sort of image. But having said that, I don't think that was the two people in question. Sure. There were indeed judges visited that place. Obviously, it's a judges' lodgings, and some of those people, you know, were really very, very evil indeed. I mean, they dished out the justice of the day, but did they feel anything? They felt nothing, frankly. Except,
that's why I want to bring Phil Wyman in, Phil, of course. We look at it from a 21st century perspective. We like to think we're more compassionate. We no longer have, for example, the death penalty. We no longer condemn witches or people who have pagan beliefs to death. Are we actually confusing our modern sensibility with what was commonplace then? Because those men were regarded in many ways as protectors of society, weren't they, back in the 16th, 17th, 18th centuries? They were the good guys.
Well, they were the good guys, but you know, most of them were kind of misunderstood at the time. So it kind of has a kind of a reflection on today's kind of modern society as such. I mean, Brian, I mean, you probably know a little bit more than me about that kind of thing.
Actually, can I just interrupt you for 1 second, guys, because I understand we have Yvette Fielding on a mobile phone heading for the location. Yvette, can you hear me?
I can, Paul. Can you hear me?
Just about. Yvette, if you pitch your voice up a bit. Are you at the location yet or still heading there?
We're still heading to the location. Wait, really?
OK, you're still heading there, Yvette. How are you feeling and how's Kath feeling?
Kath and I are both feeling really excited about tonight's location. I, of course, know the history. I went there on a recce. I thought it was absolutely amazing. We've come across one of the characters that actually frequented this location quite a few times, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully maybe being in contact with this person. I think it's going to be a great night. We've already had an amazing start. So around the corner. So hopefully it's going to be brilliant. How are you feeling now, Paul? I heard you were a bit emotional before.
I'm feeling much better, thanks, and it came from nowhere, and after talking to Chris Conway, our medium and clairvoyant, it seemed to disappear as well, but I did feel incredibly sad, and I got a very strong image of Kath, and I would like you just to say to her, reinforce to her, I know she will, but to be careful. I got a real sense of dread that something horrible might happen to her, which made me very sad. Then I felt stupid for crying, basically, and now I just feel angry at myself. But I am worried about Kath still, Yvette. So good luck.
Thank you, Kath here. Kath, stick your head in. Big kisses to you, Paul. See you later. Bye.
Good luck, everybody. Thank you very much. Yvette Fielding, Kath and the team, ladies and gentlemen. Woo. And thanks for the moment to Phil Wyman and Brian Shepherd. We need you to be